ni wewe barefuaya kafa babaranda mwe umfokulira kwa bantu kasama yuti bose batinda be abakuru n'abana bose bashitata n'abana mayo banerira we mwamba kasama irefuaya iwe wile webo ni wewe barefuaya kafa babaranda mwe umfokulira kwa bantu kasama yuti bose batinda be abakuru n'abana bose bashitata n'abana mayo banerira we mwamba kasama irefuaya iwe wile webo weshi mwamba leta experience alankane webo mwamba Emmanuel bose bakasama barefuaya mwamba Emmanuel Mwamba Emmanuel Bongazama wakulira Turefoya mwamba wesu Emmanuel Chipande ni PF Turefoya mwamba wesu Emmanuel Wakuito uwele Emmanuel mwamba mbasata Emmanuel Turefoya Emmanuel mwamba mbasata Emmanuel Bongazama wakulira Silver Mix Pure Turefoya mwamba
Good evening and welcome to today's brief. Today we are discussing the removal of street vendors and traders from the corridors of the Lusaka Central Business Center, the Central Business District. On Tuesday, our traders and small-scale vendors woke up to a rude shock. They arrived in town. It was surrounded by the police. Their makeshift stands were destroyed and burnt. And, there were protests. Some marched within town. Others went to the city council. And others went to see the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. Now, the cry of everyone and all stakeholders was that the authorities should have given notice to the vendors because the vendors were removed. Some do leave their wares, in the premises that they trade. So they claim that they've lost a lot of money, a lot of income, and their stands were demolished without any notice. The cry was that they should have been given at least a warning and notice. Let's go back to January this year. The Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Honorable Gary Nkombo, issued a public statement and said he was going to stop vending in town, and he urged all traders, all street vendors to go to designated trading spaces, because what has happened over the years, because this matter is historical, is that market stands are now empty. In fact, they are used for storage facilities, and they are basically empty, and all the form of trade has moved to the street. So before we go into the merit of these discussions, I'm going to invite that we first watch these 3 videos.
Nasa tifuna muno market kuti tizule market ili empty mulibe bantu manje chi market mana chimangiranji babo boma tisongera muno imwe uko namokolo msongera but tifuna tizasongerere pamozi muno tifuna market ikule ino ba market ni bantu market ngale empty iyayi Dotim Street achiramo nao vakanso valema ukolola doti ukolola matuvi valema nao vakanso Muno market mulikirini. Muno market vapyanga vakanso. Bwerani market, bwerani tisebenzere pamozi.
Thank you, Mayo. Twalumba. Thank you, Mayo. Thank you. Amikirani.
Tiamikira, ba minister, tiamikira wa presidenti, kuti please rekani aba bantu. Babwere market. Kuti ili empty. Nasa tifuna muno market kuti tizule. Market ili empty. Mulibe bantu. Manje chi market mana chimangiranji vaboma. Tisongera muno. Imwe uko na mokoro msongera but tifuna tisasongerere pamozi muno. Tifuna market ikule inova market.
State and Council Police clean up Lusaka Cbd. Hi everyone and welcome to Generation TV right here. If you're new, kindly remember to subscribe, like and comment. And now let's dive straight into this particular story. Street vendors conducting business in the Central Business District in Lusaka this morning woke up to a rude shock after a combined team of State and Lusaka City Council Police swung into action in the early hours of today, demolishing some makeshift stands in the cleanup exercise. The street vendors conducting business in the CBD and selected roads in the city have complained about the presence of the State and Council Police who are cleaning the CBD without any notice. The vendors have expressed displeasure at the disruption of business which has been caused by the cleanup exercise. They have further complained that their trading stands have been dislocated without being warned by the relevant authorities, saying they would have prepared themselves for the cleanup had they have been informed prior to the exercise. More details in this video. This is our Generation TV.
Such that we know a president. Kapana president, kapana Mr. Such that we know. Azilana mavuta abantu akali kombo kajala ngani. Kutoka ipampanda pa Japan ndise te abantu. Asipa sakole nice. We need Africa pesa ulemu. They need to respect us. Toza ni abantu akali kombo nao bakutoza apa akali kombo alipachimpanda mela bwim. Nangaise maoda metaoda. Zapeleka kuti sabantu bazanotisi msebantu timamvera sibandalizimu yeka metinga tanizira tingachitaka vintu vinangu katapasa notice pandalama zametina odera maoda. It's not good. Public watiganizira naise majority wa musiti mseti mavota kutika pati ngangala kompwino batipeze kati wa musiti wakala mga walipenzeri mga sinise bantu. We have been to school. I was in the 12th, but there is no job. Now I'm telling you, I'm going to be Gulisa. But in Tanzania, I'm Gulisa. But I don't pass about me. But the best I can repent Kira. But baby voice when I guns up. But soon go down Calabwin on my shop. Then we know what I'll be Futika.
Seems no business for them today, no trading for them today. No money for them today, as they have to comply with the instructions given. But again, it would be nice to see these streets free of traders. But again, it would be nice to see all these people, having a source of income, because most of them depend on what they do from here.
Are you thinking about finding?
Yeah, thank you very much. As you can see, this is a hot topic because of the nature of emotions it raises. So the minister had issued a statement on 13th January 2023, where he directed the removal of street vendors in Lusaka. He said there was a threat because it was at the height of the rainfall season. So he feared, and the Lusaka City Council feared, that there will be probably cholera outbreak, diarrheal diseases such as dysentery and diarrhea would break out, and he therefore directed that the streets be emptied. Within a day, President Hakainde Hichilema issued a statement and stopped the process by the minister. In his statement, the president stated that he had established that there was not enough consultation with the traders and the stakeholders, and that it was not established how much trading spaces was available, because you see the thousands and thousands of traders that are in the CBD that have occupied, especially the face of Lusaka, which is Lumumba, Freedom Way, Chachacha, Cairo Road, and adjacent incoming roads. So the minister was stopped. It's been all quiet until last Tuesday. And this has been 7 months later. And the cry of the vendors was that why weren't we consulted? Why weren't we told about this eviction? And some are, they are saying they could have held from buying ama order yabo nga bali katila shidendalama because waishiva. And also you have to sort out who owns the trading spaces, because many people buy the spaces and then lease them out, sublet them. So the owners are not really, in many cases, traders. They could be party carders, and they could be owners of other businesses. To then rent out to the actual traders. Even that process is extremely difficult. We must recognize that street vending is as a result of a bad economy. Street vending is as a result of a bad economy. When your manufacturing, industrial sectors have collapsed, the entire country becomes traders. They want to trade. You become literally a trading nation. In fact, this shows in our GDP that trading even beats mining. If you look at the four earners of our economy, trading is on top, because literally we've become a trading nation and trading spaces become an issue. All of us want a clean city. Just the other day, I wrote a very strong article where I said Lusaka CBD had become a giant slum. And I said the problem is politicians are paralyzed from making decisions. They fear to make the decisions. And I stated that I look forward to a day when government will make a decision about the issue of our city. That's the face of our city, our tourists. The shift to Tabombeki, the shift to residential properties for offices is a temporal measure. Your CBD must work. Look at cities that are 500 years old, like London, Paris, or Addis Ababa. They function. How do they function with sanitation? How do they function with trading spaces? How do they function even with the issues of street vending? Let me put the argument before I open the lines for you. Those that are against street vendors, especially those that own shops, they cry that those that are off the street establishment are disadvantaged because the vendors do not pay registration fees, they don't pay taxation fees and costs, they don't pay rental and utility costs, and therefore they provide unfair competition to the off-street establishment. And they make these off-street establishments unviable because their customers can get business off the street. The establishment say they pay levies, they pay taxes, they pay registration fees. But for those that look at street vending as an integral part of an economy, they say even street vendors pay hawkers licenses, they pay levies. They are usually levied. Even in our area there, you see that both cadres and the city council levy our people. And you can't stop people's right and individual right to work because you have a collapsed economy where you don't have a manufacturing and industrial sectors, and our people need to survive. So what do? They go on the street and begin to sell. They also form part of a huge retail distribution. Munamona ama bananas, ama oranges, munamona ama onions and tomatoes and vegetables. There, the street vendors become an easy distribution mechanism where the owners, big businesses, use street vendors to retail their goods. Street food vending in Asia is a hallmark. In fact, they say the best food is the one you find on the street. If you go, to Thailand, you go to Hong Kong, and you go to other areas. So street vending does have a small space in the economy. So what do you do with that? And remember, we've migrated where we are saying each person who trades, who vends, should be treated as a small-scale business person, and they should be provided with incentives and support. So we now have to balance. Do we make Lusaka a giant slum? How do we allow traders and vendors to trade? Our economy has largely become informal after the privatization program, where we have few industries and few manufacturing entities. So the informal sector immediately attracts vendors. This is a balance we have to strike. And this issue, where the minister and authorities have removed our vendors, is a good test. What should have been done better? For me, I would have loved that a notice is given to our vendors. I would have loved that an audit is done to the trading spaces. Today, the minister and his permanent secretaries went on air. The minister was on local government was on Hot Air, on Hot FM, and his permanent secretaries, Mr. Piri and Mr. Amaundu, were on various radio stations to attempt to explain the decision. And I listened to all of them, but what is deficient there is that an audit hasn't been done of the trading spaces we have. They are pushing up numbers, 13,000 in Lusaka, 23,000. Those numbers mean nothing if you can't allocate the traders to the trading spaces. And like I said, in many cases, because of the corrupt nature of this process, you find that the owners of the stand are not even traders or street vendors or marketeers. They grab the land, they grab the plots, the stands, and then they lease or sublet the entities. So my view would have been that first we should have done an audit, then marry the traders to the empty spaces, whether it's in Matero, Lilanda, Chilenje, Livala, Mtendere, City Market, and others. Then move in to stop them, to then evict the traders from the street, other than the manner in which we did it. Let me invite the callers, and you can call us on, let me just look for a number quickly, so that you can call us on this number. Where is the number? Where is the number? Is it scrolling? Is the number scrolling? You can see the number is scrolling down there as I'm looking to say it out loudly. There are two numbers that you need to call us on. 077 37 83785. I'll give you another one which is a WhatsApp. Just play the other video for the woman who was talking about notice, that notice was not given.
Now the maudu ya 10 pin manje ndame ose manje maudu family yanga zaisunga bwanji family Afrika pasa notice na ventu vantu timamvera watu kushabe vintu veka why ngatafasha vintu veka why opokapa o president apemba o chairman family apo why sana funa kuti wazingene sepo cha president ata vote Afrika watika konzero na sasa ku understand that family wachita usachita bwino 10 p tina odea kusapola pe 25 nanga ina nguza chokela kuti swachita bwino a president kapana president kapana misa swachita bwino so bazilana mavuto abantu akali kombo kazela ngana kutonka pampanda pabaja pana ali ndise te bantu basitepa sakole nice we need afuna ngo pesa ulemu they need to respect us. Toza ni sebantu wakali kombo wanao bakutoza apa wakali kombo wali pachimpanda mela bwino nangaise maoda meta oda sizapeleka kuti sebantu basanoti sebantu timamvera sibandalizimu yeka metinga tandizira tingachitaka vintu vinangu katapasa notice pandrama za metina odera maoda. It's not good. Afrika watiganizira naise majority wa musiti ndeti mavota utikapati ngangala ko bwino batipeze kati wa musiti wanga mga walipenzeri mungasindise bantu. We have been to school. I was in the 12th, but there is no job. Na round I'm town ni mose muna mulibesho la mogulisa. Basi ntanti kakasaka ni gulisa. Panela nipasa pa 1 minute. Batipeze kati lepentanti kila. But baby voice vani guns up. Bazungu tewa kala bwino na mashopu kuna huko. Temwina wacha nivutika. Waganizepo wagalinko.
Anyopa wa mwenye wamena wabukusa.
Waganizepo na wa mwenye. Wali free. Na mwina wacha ndine citizen. Kati nivutika. Kutantika jepansi ingali problem. Waganizepo. Ngati ni sawa titenge wa president wakati sunge kwao kakubevetiza chito kulipe kai chito kulipe ngati tenge wa president wakati sunge ndawa vetinauta makatuni ya 20 pin na kusama chepa mande.
Thank you very much. So the number to call us is 077 37 83785. I'll give you the WhatsApp number as soon as it is ready. So you have these two arguments. First, there's a collapsed economy. So you become a trading nation and trading spaces are taken up. And there's another group that we should condemn. You, the motorist and pedestrians, you don't want to walk to a market. You don't want to go into the market. It's convenient for you to buy from the comfort of your car. You just wind down your window and you buy whatever you want. So street vending is also promoted by you and me because we are reluctant to park a car and walk into the market. Of course, the council has to do a lot of things. Number one, there are no public spaces no proper parking spaces. Two, security, because when you leave your car will be burgled into. Imagine if you are going to Soweto Market or City Market. Where do you park? So again, the city council have to do all those things. Provide parking space and security for people to leave their car and walk into the market. So pedestrians find it easier to shop from the corridors because it doesn't make them go into the market. So the markets are empty because the market responds to the needs. The needs is that to sell on the streets is far easier than in the market because you and me do not walk into a market. So let me hear your views. 077 37 83785. 077 37 83785. The establishment, especially the corridors that are usually taken over by traders, They complain that they pay rentals, they pay registration certificate, they pay taxes, they meet utility costs of the areas, and they become unfair competition. The street vendors become unfair competition. Let me take this. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Garden. My name is Mr. Zimba.
Mr. Zimba from Garden, please make your contributions.
Okay. My contribution is that, okay, the current government have done a good thing to open up the streets, because it was impossible. I was checking your roundup in town. When you are doing a roundup. If you are passing along Freedom Way near around there, it was literally impossible to pass. And those are sleeper lanes where these motorists, if you want to buy maybe spares or whatever, they can use those lanes. But they were filled up with people. And I think on the issue of policing, the council must do much. And even the traffic police, they should stop motorists from parking on those spaces in between. You have seen those, the islands, yes. They must stop motorists from parking those. Then on the aspect of the notice, I think the vendors, they were informed, because I overheard Mr. Nkombo saying that they were informed, and he got some consultations even from the opposition, and it was an ongoing thing. So I believe they were notified. It's just that some of them are just a bit stubborn, and some of them they don't want to listen what is going on certain issues regarding such matters. And I think the solution right now is the government must find an alternative. There are a lot of spaces where the government can buy off and build a spacious market to decongest the CBD, and they have to start right now. Remember where the issue with ZESCO in the 90s, whereby the current director at that time, it was Mr. Robinson. He encouraged. He was trying to tell the current government that time, MMD, that we need to build more power stations, and the government was reluctant. And so now the onus now is on UPND to start building the same type of markets like city market in our townships. So that we reduce the pressure on the city, because the council alone cannot manage. And also on the part of these same businessmen, the Indians and the Lebanese and these other banks and all that, it's their social responsibility that they get into the game and start helping. There are some vendors whom they can even employ back in the same streets. These same banks, they can do that. The council can do that. And even the government can do that. They form a cooperative. They take in some of the vendors. They buy these big garbage collecting they buy them PPEs and all that. They cut up that loss, because some of them they have lost out on business, and some of them they get these merchandise on credit from these same Lebanese. And the council also must move in ensuring that those shops by the Indians are not used as storage facilities, because some of the same Indians are the ones who are encouraging vending in the town. Thank you very much. I rest my case.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Zimba is clear. He says, most of the places were impossible. I took a trip into town today. I wanted to see for myself. I saw some return of street vendors in small areas, but essentially the streets were cleared of vendors, and there were a lot of people standing on the roadsides. He has also repeated what I said, issues of notice and warning of vendors. He insists that some form of notice was given. The only notice I'm aware of is the one that was done in January by the minister. He issued a formal statement stopping street vending, and he gave a date at which the vendors would be removed. There was a political uproar, both from stakeholders and street vendors and all of us politicians, where we said, identify trading spaces, identify markets, marry the traders to those trading spaces, give them adequate notice, then allow them to go, then you can remove them. So there hasn't been any fresh notice. If there has been a fresh notice, it is muted. You can call us on 077 37 83 785, 077 37 83 785. You are aware that street vending in the manner we are experiencing it, whether it's in Ndola, Kitwe, Chingola, Livingstone, Choma, Kafue, Lusaka, is because of high unemployment, where our economy has become highly informal, where our manufacturing and industrial sectors collapsed because of government policies, especially the privatization policies. And our people have no way of earning a living other than to sell. And why are traders in the markets? It's very, very clear. You and me have also encouraged this. We should also take blame. We don't want to go into the market because we are afraid that our cars will be burgled into if we park our cars. Two, there is no sufficient parking space. Another set of people that have preoccupied the city, that have taken permanent spaces, are those that sell cars. Again, they're part of vendors because they then have turned the parking spaces in town as their shopping lot for vehicles, for people that want to buy motor vehicles. So the city is crowded. There's no parking space. If you're going to city market, there's no safe place where you can leave your car. So we are forced to encourage street vending, where we buy from, okay. My WhatsApp number is on, so we can receive more calls. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Sorry, I'm trying to put my numbers together. Namushivava police bali nchitasana disrupt, but we'll be there one day.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. A quick contribution with moving street vendors into the markets.
Your name for the purpose of our viewers and listeners?
Eugene.
Eugene.
So the good part will be that if it will result into employment creation, because if we are more organized, that's where jobs are found. What I mean is that if you move people into the market, you find that the council would need security personnel. There are so many services that will benefit by them organizing the people into one place, whereby if I want something, I can go there, but you would need security, you need people to look after the things like, because we are not, we need to ensure that even as much as we have more people in there, things to do with fire, safety, and some people should be looking after that aspect, so that we avoid the issue that we had some time back, whereby the market is bent down, because most people may end up losing something. So there are so many services that are going to benefit from by doing that. So in the end, more employment will be created, because the main jobs, they are based on what people need. If we are able to provide if we are able to meet the needs of the people, then through that, others will be able to get their jobs. Yeah. Then one last part. You didn't give me a notice that you are going to block me on your Facebook. I don't know whether it's you or the admin. I just
What name
saw
do you
that
use,
I can't.
You are a good contributor. What name do you use?
Yeah, but I was used. No, I use my names. It's my name Eugene.
Ngosa.
I just found that. Yes, I just found that I was blocked. So I mean, I'm thinking, what did I do
We
to be
allow
blocked?
free speech. I'll speak to the admin of the page. I
Yes, you can,
discourage blocking people.
I'm asking for forgiveness.
Tamutukana.
No. We don't go to that extent. I'm asking for forgiveness.
Okay, Gina, I'll ask the
All right.
administrator. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. So you can call us on 077 3783 785, both on WhatsApp and a direct call. I think this number will work for both cases. 077 3783 785. Street vending. Eugene says, when we move people into the markets, security services for the car park will be provided, because people will be in one area, and the council can then collect taxes and registration fees, and we hope that there will be no return of cadres like we have seen. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Mr. President. How are you?
Very well. Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is John within Lusaka.
John.
Yes.
Yes, make your contribution, sir.
Yes, Mr. President, I think that one is my field of work. First of all, let me just give you a background of what is supposed to be done for the market.
Hey,
for the
John,
yes,
how are
yes.
you?
Fine, how are you?
Mr. John Injebe.
No,
you what I experience. You were a councillor, you've been versed with local government issues. So,
yes. So, just to come on the topic which is on the table. At one time when we were in the Lusaka City Council, we brought up a proposal to say we need to have the mini bus station. Why do I mean by the mini bus station? We propose that we need to have the bus stations within the compound, which should be run by the council to decongest the city, so that the council should have enough space in the compound where the buses should park, load, bring the people in town, and take them back into the compound. The council, the management was reluctant. Again, we said we need a mini market. What do I mean mini market? For example, today, that Comesa, if I'm not mistaken, I even wrote a letter to Garinko. That Comesa market has been sold. They have been selling that to Comesa market. The same Comesa market which is opposite to Kuma Tower. If you got northern meaning, it is sold. Even if you look at the post office, I've written a letter to say we can create a small market there. We bring up those boxes, Yamaleters. Upstairs, we put up small shops, 1 meter. So we have enough spaces which the council can work in hand with the banks so that they can create more markets within the central business area and outside the central business area. And that's how it is in China. If you go to Guangzhou, that thing that you are seeing, it's just a market for the shoes. If you go to Guangzhou, it's just a market for the shoes. The whole thing about in fact, they think that was just too small. If you go to China, that's how they have created the space. And when we are talking of the spaces for the market this time, they should create small spaces, 1.5 meters, 1 meter, so that you have a lot of rooms which can accommodate marketeers. There's nothing where you can create more employment than trading. There's nowhere in the world. And when you try to surpass those people, it means you are bringing now a lot of havoc to the citizen, whereby there will be a lot of criminals, there will be a lot of, all these gender abuses we are hearing about and everything. Because those people, they do hand-to-mouth businesses. They eat every day, they buy things every day, and they trade every day. So we need to respect those people and see how we can accommodate them. We still have enough spaces in town which the government can come in and buy off. Even using the banks, that is the only solution. And we can give them, I can give them a proposal. If they contract me as a government, I can give them to say, create a market here, create a market that side, create a market that side. Then you can decongest the whole city. I've got a plan for that one. I can do it within 1 month and I can present it to the government. Because I've written letters to Kalinkumbo. I told him, commercial market is on sale. Let's create a bus station. He didn't respond. We told them about the post office, how we can create a mini market. They didn't respond. I have the letters and which has been signed by the ministers. The problem is that this minister we have sometimes they don't respond. They look at things like just a fair waste of time. I have letters, the Mr. President, I can send them to you on WhatsApp tomorrow and see how we communicated with these people. And I gave them the idea before even this thing was coming up. And
So
I saw that it's a time for
mini markets in buildings like the post office, Findeco, and others. Where will parking space be?
Yeah, now the parking space. We still have enough parking space. Do you know that at one time Oriental company proposed that we needed a parking space upstairs, parking space between Kamuala and Findeco. On top of the rail line. They wanted to put up a very big parking space all the way from Kamuala up to Garden compound so that the vehicles can be parked there. It came as a proposal. The central government refused.
We cover the rail, but on top we create a parking space.
We can even create parking space. We can even create small shops on top of there. We can even, on top again, we can create another road which can even come all the way from Kabanana up to Chawama. And join the Great East Road. Those proposals, they came in the council, but the central government rejected. Yeah. And that's what has been happening in all the cities. So we still have enough space. All what is needs is architecturalists and engineers to come up together and replan the city. That is city, it has enough space in the area to accommodate everybody. But we don't have people who can listen, people who can get advice from the ordinary person. They think that they know it. No. Especially when you are in the midst of local government, you must know what it takes for the people on the ground, the marketeers. They are very important in the market sector, because once you throw those people, you are going to bring a lot of problems. So the way the government should come in, let them engage the private sector to start creating the main market, not only one market, one city market. No, let's start. We have nothing in this area. It has been expanded.
Our street vendors and those traders on the corridors, they can afford those spaces if we were to build those spaces.
Yes, because what I'm saying that you create small spaces which are 1 meter or 1.5 meter, where people can just rent on the minimum charges. Okay? Then we can have warehouse somewhere where they can be keeping things. Those people, they pay. They pay for the storage. They have got money. Don't you know that those people, they can't 50,000, 40,000, and 50,000. They can pay, but the problem that, the numbers increases on daily basis. Those people are building houses. Those people, they are my clients, myself. In my business, I respect them. They've got money. But what is important is we need the government which can plan for them. We need the government which can create small spaces of shops. Even if you go to China, the biggest shop you can find in China is 2 meters. 2 meters. Now, if here we can say, can we start creating 1 meter shop? And we can have storages now somewhere. We still have Chigoria area. The government can buy off Chigoria area. If the Indians they are buying, you have seen that Indians they are buying of Chigoria area. Indians they are buying Kamala area. Why can't the government buy of those areas and free market? Even in Mrs. area, the government can buy of Mrs. area. That's the only way. Because if you buy of Mrs. area, you can shift Kwema Tower, take it, all the buses which is coming from town, you will take it on that side. You buy of Chigoria area, you take it, buses which is coming from Ganyama, you take it that side. You come to the Impala North End, there are places which are being bought. There are even big places in the Lusaka area which they can buy, so that people can have a lot of mini bus stations, a lot of mini markets. We need to have mini. Mini, like for example, the bank now, FNB. I don't need to go to FNB to deposit the bank. Let's go to agents now which are running on behalf of it. Even the council should have a lot of markets everywhere, so that every space people can move, they can find the market.
Okay.
Because a lot of council had a lot of spaces, but it was sold by the individuals, the selfish people. Because there are a lot of property which the council had, which would have been turned by now into market. That's what I sold off.
Okay.
So that's my contribution. Otherwise, I'm ready to help Mr. Kalinkumbo and give him a proposal, which he And you can work on it.
I want that proposal. Give it to me. I'll come and implement.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Yeah, that's Mr. John Njere. He has a lot of proposals, brilliant ones. He says he's been to China several times, and all he sees are very small shops in big buildings. And you wonder why we can't do the same while we let the buildings go to waste. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Very well.
Yeah, this is I'm calling you from Bowden, sir.
From Bowden?
Yes.
Your name, my brother?
Yeah. So let me also contribute to this program, sir. So what I was thinking is, look at you yourself, Mr. Mwamba, and the PFA was in power for 10 years. And you kept looking for solutions to these vendors. Say you once move them if you find a place where you can place them. And what I can say to today is you failed to look for that place. So I don't know what could be your solution right now. If this government which is in power today, they have also going direct without even informing these people to say, we are giving you a warning for you to find a suitable place for you to trade in, but they have just gone direct and chase them away from the CBD areas. So by that it has actually made them to be popular among the vendors. So the European government have made themselves to be popular among the vendors. But a suggestion which I had for me, I think, this Lusaka sit down, or maybe this capital seat, I think it was poorly done before. So what could have been done by now is let just the government try to ignore and allow these vendors to continue trading in these areas and chasing them away. Because looking at what UPF you tried to do, yes, you tried here and there to build up at that time on your market, and of which at now putting them, all these vendors away from where they do trade to go and tell them to go in that place, in that market. I think it won't accommodate them. It's too small and they are main. And looking again at City Market is finished. So what is needed by now is at least we build a new market for these vendors. City Market, as for now, it is a finished place. There is no one who can accept to go and do business in that place. The government has to revamp that, has to build it anew, or maybe let the government allow these people to trade in this area, and the government should look for a place somewhere else where they should build new industries or maybe new structures or new offices for them, so that there will be no vendors in that place where they will look as hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please wind up quickly. There are so many people that wish to call.
I think I've concluded, sir.
Okay. When you bring in politics, it becomes very difficult. The Patriotic Front first put a slab on Old Soweto. They, I think, rehabilitated City Market after the fire. They're the ones that have built the Simon Mwiwa Lane. And there are other markets and bus stops that were built under the 10-year period of the PF. If you want to go to the politics, you actually find that the PF did a lot of work around markets. But in my view, I would like to invite solutions. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, Zina Richard Tembo.
By Richard Tembo, mutuna kutoka kuti?
Tumina kabanana.
Ku? Kabanana, iyo kambankon.
Yes, sir. A step ya minu watenga wa minister is not a good way. Because kairinga you open in abantu, ufunika kuti pamene wachosa abantu. Uziya na kumine ufunika wafaka abantu. Because it kangana abantu ambiri muji. Kubachosa ija fast na wachosa ija. A lot of people wanakunga na mandrama wenagwa na malonzi. Baratenga vindu ambiri maningi kusiana siana. So na mama na chosira ija emergency. Wazabwe za bwanyi ndrama za wene wake manu. which means afaka manje pressure abantu that kangana futhi mbalina ngomuli bantu bambili bamene ma widows mu street mucha mina ngo basunga bana amasiye muri nkalamba like yesterday wamene nzori mzwa wina nkalamba na peza akusha tuyashira mwizo tukamara shatuja anaganda wanagamba timaje inezipeza bwanjo moyo so that wonse wazankalamba zonse ziganda urazita naziganizile pakati pa omwero wao nishiziko tifaka pati pereka pati because ngatipasa muntu tishta chimbe funga taganza kona bantu because ngatreso itakambatoke umusaga pezeka mu street event then tuwaganizile kwina kwatu kamizishta kwa mzambitza wapereka waja bantu kuti nawo wapezeko chani wapezeko tamizo because bantu bangana njala then vamini savakuja kwaona vana vao patenga nako bantu futa again vantu venangu vantu vambiri ndimo wenzo surviving lako mene muja ndimo wenzo peza yako life mene muja vantu vambiri ndimo wenzo peleka maskuru mene muja wenzo peleka wa malentos vosiana siana but manjeresa awapisa
okay zikomo
without any notice so tete wa minister organize kwa abantu babaka posta vintu vili vonse
okay
bapanga decision na kuangana kwa mena za peleka abantu bapanga decision kwa mesa za peleka abantu
okay
thank
you very much. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, this is Sam.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. So I've been following your program. I'm actually based in the Philippines right now, but I'm Zambian.
Your name, Sam?
So Sam
from the Philippines. Do you have street vendors in the Philippines?
Yeah, we do, but they're not as like sparsely populated and like trading anywhere like in Lusaka or in Zambia.
They are organized.
Yeah. They're organized, very organized actually. So here's my thing, yeah. I don't even think we need to blame these street vendors. I think it's leadership first of all. Like I feel Zambia for a long time has lacked innovative leaders who think beyond the ordinary. Because trust me, street vendors did not start today. They didn't start yesterday. These people have been there for a long time. But in terms of the leadership, like, we didn't have leaders who thought beyond like 10 years in advance to see that in future this problem is gonna get worse because as population grows, and like you rightly put it, Zambia's economy is informal. Like much of it is informal. So like you don't expect people to go out. I think the only way of making survival for a living for themselves is through street vending. So for me, if we had leadership that's planned for these people like back then, we wouldn't be having this problem today. So my solution, like they all have said, like in China, where they have all those story buildings that occupy most of these people. We have a similar thing here in the Philippines, whereby these people are given 1 meter rooms, like almost like closet space, and it's like they put all their merchandise, and you'll be shocked that people actually go there to buy these things. So, like you said, for me, it's a mindset issue, and it's also the people themselves, citizens, encouraging these people. Because, like you said, people would rather buy from their cars as opposed to going into the market. So if people actually go into those markets, then these people will be forced to go back to to stay in the markets themselves. So for me, I feel like even our city planners, the Lusaka City Council, we don't have people who have passion for these things. Because these people travel, they see how other countries, they have seen how beautiful other cities look around the world. Like, why can't they implement similar things in Zambia? So for me, I feel like we don't have leaders who don't know what they are doing. We don't have leaders who are innovative. We don't have leaders who have passion for things. Most of these people in these offices, in the council, in the Ministry of Local Government, most of these people just treat their jobs like, okay, I have to go to work today, get a salary at the end of the month, without really implementing anything. So for me, I feel like in the future, like even as we elect leaders going forward, we need to elect people who have the passion, the heart for the people. And like people just treat things as business as usual. Because even this city market, they're asking people to go back into. Like, honestly, like, have you seen that place? That place has been in existence for so many years.
Yes.
Like it's outdated right now. So obviously you don't expect those people to enjoy trading from there. So for me, my solution is build more markets, build modern markets. Actually, like that's a modern market. I think that's a replica of a modern market. So if we can have those in the townships, in all the areas around Lusaka, around the country, this thing maybe might just be a solution to this street vending. So yeah, that's just my contribution.
Thanks, Sam from the Philippines. I'm grateful and thank you for your contributions.
All right, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thanks, Sam from the Philippines. I'm grateful.
Hello.
Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah, this is Mr. Kombe. I'm calling from Washington, D.C. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Thank you, Mr. Kombe from Washington. Make your contributions.
Yes. Yes, it's interesting that you brought up this wonderful conversation. Actually, it's been long overdue as in regards to cleaning up Lusaka. First and foremost, let's give up a big hand to Honorable Gary Nkombo to take up this opportunity and his bravery to clean up Lusaka. Lusaka has been terrible. It's been horrible. First of all, from the perspective of public safety, over time, the Lusaka city has been crowded by vendors, those people that are trading in the central business area. We are lucky and we are blessed that we don't have catastrophes in Lusaka, assuming we had a fire or we had an earthquake. I wouldn't imagine how the city people or the what do you call them? The emergency people, how they would run their equipment to people, in the market. So people will be affected. Or in the simplest, you have somebody who has a heart attack, somebody who is a pregnant woman. It's those perspectives. I don't know how people disregards concerns like that. But again, on an amplified perspective, I don't understand why we don't have an endeavor where the local people, which is the local government people, including the marketeers, they don't have a conversation. Bring them together, have a conversation, talk about this. The whole thing can emanate from the conversation, then the planning. Not if boom, this happens and stuff like that. There are concerns from both parties, from government and those people that are affected. We have laws to follow, but at the same time, we have feelings that we have to listen to. But all this can be done if we have a conversation. Listen, guys, in the next 6 months, government will embark on a program where we'll be doing the cleanup. But at the same time, government has a vision now or has something that we have in our foresight that probably will be building something for you besides being the CBD Central Business Area, which is Lusaka. There's no issues, no qualms in that. You have a conversation that you prepare people. Next time you move equipment or you move them to designated places. No qualms, nothing. You can ask Zambians 1 out of 10. Every Zambian in Lusaka wants a town clean. They want where you have water, electricity, safety, police, security, where they can leave their things, they go home, everything is secured. Who doesn't want that? Everybody wants that. But I think on the perspective of government, let them be more transparent, have a conversation with those people, and at the same time, teach people the importance of being progressive. And again, it sometimes it falls on the leadership, our people who don't take this opportunity teach people, and a lot of people in Zambia, let me put it this way, there's a lot of ignorance that thrives in the community, which actually brings to us, the people and the leadership, to teach people, say, you know what, this is for the good of everybody here. If we have a clean environment, public safety, which is number one, and we protect your property, at the same time we keep our communities clean, it will be a 50-50 win for everybody. So going back to what Honorable Garin Kombo has done, well, it's a plus on his shoulders, but at the same time it's a fail on the local people, because they woke up and they didn't know where to go. So I don't know how that can be bridged, and going forward, how we as a country should learn from that. But on the closing, I would have loved Lusaka to be a prototype. Let's build Lusaka safe, clean, greener. Like we are seeing in Rwanda, there's nothing difficult what the Rwandan people are doing. It's an African country. We can learn from that. It's a magnificent thing. So we have brilliant people, and I love you, my brother. You do a brilliant thing. You bring this to us. Keep doing what you're doing. Like you said, politics aside, I love your sense of patriotism. You love your country, and I like listening and reading your messages. It's just wonderful. But keep also pushing the leadership that you share views and opinion takes up as a responsibility, and help our people. There's so much ignorance that thrives in our communities, but we can do much better. But thank you anyway.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kombe from Washington, for those contributions. Mr. Kombe is very clear. He says we need to clean up our city. He's commended the minister for that bravery. He says there's need for public safety and poor sanitation. That Lusaka CBD, have you tried to go to the toilet? There are no public toilets. We just have no public toilets everywhere. I see even at the University of Zambia, they come to the public toilets at East Park Shopping Mall. That's not the way a city should be run. We should have public conveniences, public toilets, public showers. And these are just not there. And he cited Kigali, and he says we just need to plan and implement. I agree with you. The biggest issue we have with the minister is that there was no notice. Our street vendors were caught unawares. Let's play this two video of the woman and the street vendors protesting. You see their anger. They needed a notice. In fact, they ended up chanting President Lungu's name because they were very angry. They want, I think, a notice. They want you to show them where you are taking them. Yes, they all agree. I think I haven't found anyone who says we should allow our city to die. I haven't found anyone who says our city should be dirty. Everyone agrees. Maybe we take this call before we go to the videos. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Mr. Mwamba.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm Kennedy Chileshe calling from Pemba.
Yes, Mr. Kennedy Chileshe from Pemba.
Yes, sir. My contributions, Mr. Mwamba. Hello?
We are listening, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Mwamba, you are doing a commendable job for bringing this program on air. In 2018, I remember when the President Edgar Lungu removed the steel vendors. They go to Parliament and signed the statutory instrument for IAC for the steel vendors to be a law, and no steel vendors should be allowed to be on the street. But because of politics, the steel vendors came back to the streets. My contribution is, I'm a vendors. Could issue a many street. As the politician, my politician leveling my vendors to a okay? My politician ba politician everenga ama vendors kuti babulire mu street. I remember the UPND government balandira kwebati ifunga twawina tukaleta ko vendors desk. Iyo vendors desk nanombata tubayimona. Ama city vendors kuti babulire mu street balandira ati they kera vendors bambyo kushya. Batawafanya kwako batwa kabitwala. Number, what is good in Southern Province is good to Lusaka. What is good in Lusaka is good in Southern Province. Number, why Lusaka vendors would want to kumonze bale tamsha. Then put the same government wala ndoka tunatuafanya mwako mitwala. Tukamiewa tugesamiewa. Suddenly, bainge mu street uko kuoninga wale abantu ngabali waoninga. But no, we are giving you 2 to 3 weeks. Be prepared, you are going to locate you to this place. As the street vendors, awaka no mamubati. Ukwako batuacha wabananga. Bafika kwa watamsha tufumeni. Wala kuisa wala bantu na mwapiro kwa kushita. Yes, duwalanda kiyo city market yeko hili. But mamu city market, muriaba limo. Imunga mweko kufunya vendors, wafunyeni, wasendeni. Muwapere presa kuti ni presa kusheni umutwami perane. As it is now, in city market wa Mwamba ili congestion na Lusaka so treranda tabakutapa ino kushya abantu. Even my sisters tabakwete apa kushya bali musiti abadi musiti muzi. So tureromba ko imuba mo through your mouthpiece you are our mouthpiece Mwamba mwe bali kona na nyecha kulandira kama politician. Is the reason ya kuti ama vendors babe ko politician wala be ufi. Abapene bala batamsha next year bakeza be party yore keni babwerere ekeni babwerere bantu so kwa kema voting aba votera after 2 years bakeza batamsha futi opine futi after 1 year bakeza batamsha aba politician eba lelenga bale kokura be kwa vendors ufi utawe fono twawina tokutoka mitamshe PF ngayalusa ifoti kutoka kwa change toka mitamshe UPNG ngayalusa ifo PF toka mitamshe bale kokubepa kwa Mwamba. Abo ma vendors bantunga yanga bo bene ma politician ubebe tshika kwaye
thank you Kennedy Chileshe from is very clear. Politicians and their populist approaches, because politicians, you saw UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema, when PF tried to remove the vendors, he stood on behalf of the vendors and said, don't remove them. And probably even as politicians, now that they've removed the vendors, we are going to stand on the other side and say, don't remove the vendors. We love populist decisions instead of right decisions. So he's right, Kennedy is right. We politicians are to blame with our populist approaches. Pedestrians and motorists are also to blame. They don't want to park and go into the market. They want to buy from the corridors. They want to buy from the comfort of their cars. Other factors are trading spaces, because there are inadequate trading spaces. And even the trading spaces that are available and empty have sometimes owners who are not even traders at all. And for me, it's an issue of the economy. When the economy is bad, you see the proliferation of the informal sector, where people try to survive. It is a bigger sickness. It's telling you how sick your economy is, that you have no manufacturing sectors to employ those young people that are hawking and trading on the streets, that you have no industries that can absorb those people out of employment, where trading becomes not as a choice, an entrepreneurial choice, but as a survival mechanism. Let's play those 2 videos.
Now the Maud. naona maudu ya 10 pin manje ndame yose manje maudu family yanga zaisunga bwanji family Afrika pasa notice na ventu tima mvera watu kushabe vintu veka why ngatafasha vintu veka why opokapa president apemba chairman family hapo why sana funa mtu azingene sepo cha president atawa vote Afrika watika konzero na sasa tushaka understand that family wachita usachita bwino 10 pia tinao dea kusapoja pe 25 nanga ina nguza chokela kuti swachita bwino a president kapana president kapana misa swachita bwino bazilana mavuto y'abantu agali kombo kazela ngana kutonka pampanda pampaja pana bali ndise te bantu basipa sakole munais we need Africa to pass olem they need to respect us. Toza ni sebantu wakali kombo wanao wakutoza hapa wakali kombo walipachipa mpanda wamela bwino nangaise maoda meta oda sizapeleka kuti sebantu pasa notice sebantu tima mvera sibandalizimu yeka metinga tandizira tingachitako vintu vinangu katapasa notice pandrama za metina odera maoda. It's not good. Afrika watiganizira naise majority wa street ndeti mavota utikapati ngangala ko bwino batipeze kati wa street wakala mga walipenzero mungasinise bantu. We have been to school. I was in the 12, but there is no job. Na now in town mose muna mulibeshora mugulisa basi intanti kakasaka nigulisa banana ndipasa pa 1 minute batipeze kati pentanti kila Palipe votes vani maganiza hapo. Bazungu ndiyankala bwino na mashopu kuna huko. Temwina wacha nivutika. Waganizepo wagali nkomo.
Thank you very much. Please call us on 0773 783 785. Participate in the conversation. We've had various callers. Please participate in this conversation. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hi, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba.
Good evening, Madam.
Madam Cassandra.
Madam Cassandra, yes, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and how are you?
I'm fine. I'm just concurring with Kennedy, the one who just called. Initially, I remember during the COVID as well as that disease, the town went clean, all the street vendors were out of town. But later on, when the campaign started, the street vendors, the politicians invited these street vendors back to the street. So we hope in the coming elections, we don't want to see the vendors coming back because of the politicians. Thank you. That's my submission.
Thank you very much. Call us on the number that's scrolling. Participate in the conversation. We are discussing street vending and the decision to remove street vendors. We'll all agree our city needs to be clean, but probably is the way we handle these matters. We should have given notice to the street vendors. We should provide for alternative trading space. I've got a caller. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello?
Good evening, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, how are you? This is calling you from Mwamba.
From Mwamba, your name, sir?
Oliver.
Oliver from Mwamba, make your contribution.
Yes. Okay, there's no wrong in telling those marketeers, traders to go back to the market fee. Just that they have chased them without prior notice. There was supposed to be a prior notice so that those marketeers and traders could know before they are chased. But looking at the way the market, the CBD is clean, it looks very clean, and that's the way to go. As it is, you can't always afford to continue being a lawlessness country. The country is dirty. When foreigners are coming to our country, they say, no, our country is not tight. We need a clean city. You know, we are adapting to the vices of other countries. If Rwanda can do it, why can't we do it here in Gambia? It's just a matter of the starting point. As things go on, everyone is going to find a space in a market. That's my contribution. Otherwise, the program that you have brought is welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. From Luampa, my dear brother Oliver says that the marketeers, traders, street vendors needed prior notice before we demolish their makeshift stands, and before we removed them. Some had made investment, and without prior notice, they will incur losses, and they've no way of recovering that money. But he also appreciates what has happened to the CBD, where it looks clean, and he hopes that we can maintain this. This is similar to what Mrs. Kasanda said, that we hope that before elections, then politicians will allow, to be for cheap popularity, will allow our vendors back. So Oliver is talking about lawlessness. I was making a case that street vending is usually an outcome of a poor economy, when you don't have a proper industrial and manufacturing base, when your economy moves to an informal side, you will see symptoms like street vending. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah, it's Mpanga calling from Eastern Province.
Yes, Mr. Mpanga.
Yes, I want to know, despite what happened in the street, I want to know the resolution with the city council. What was the resolution with the Lusaka City Council?
On street vendors?
On the street vendors, because they went there and have the issue, the matter resolved. I don't know how was the resolution of that day.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. It is very clear. Looking at the minister's earlier statement in January, where he ordered vendors to leave, that government doesn't want street vending in town. It's very clear. And they want the vendors to go to trading spaces. I think there will be nothing outside such a decision. The pain of the vendors is that you people as council, you levy us, you charge us, including the cadres. They collect fees. That's a cry of the vendors. And then you wake up and make us illegal. Some even were showing hawkers license where they've paid for street vending in certain designated streets. And they said, but you've removed everyone without discrimination, including those that have hawkers and registration certificates. So the vending has been authorized by the city council, because it's the city council that has allowed for the vending to take place. That we can't deny. It's the city council that collects those levies. And it's even the party cadres that collects those levies. So we regularize something that was illegal and informal. We made it formal and legal by those actions by the council. And they have a legitimate issue, and like Mpanga from Eastern Province is asking, so what was the resolution? I think the resolution is that there are trading spaces across the city, and they're encouraging people to go back to Rilanda, Matero, City Market. Simon Mwaleni is said to be opening soon, that brand new market on Lumumba Road that was built by the Patriotic Front. There are other markets in Libala, Chilenje, in Chawama, in Chivolia. Those markets are mostly empty because people choose to trade in the street. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I said, calling you from Monze.
Yes, sir. Make your contribution. Hello? Mute your device. Okay, we lost that caller. I was just saying that the marketeers, traders, street vendors needed prior notice. And the other complaint is that the council does levy them every day. And even party cadres also do levy them. So the lawlessness has been formalized by these actions by the council and party cadres. So the outlook must be comprehensive. Identify, audit the trading spaces, count the traders and vendors and marketeers that you have that are trading on the street. Marry them to the empty spaces that are currently available, and then enforce your strict discipline to remove everyone and to stop street vending in town. There was a lady that was crying that there are no people in the market. Let's play that video. She's calling for her fellow traders to come to the market. That's also a legitimate other side of the argument. While they've been removed without prior notice, those in the markets feel disadvantaged because they pay, also levies and for the stands, and then their colleagues out the street, on the street, make more money or are more lucrative. So let's play that video.
Nasa tifuna muno market kuti tizule market ili empty mulibe bantu manje chi market mana chimangiranji baboma tisongera muno imwe uko namokoro msongera but tifuna tizasongerere pamozi muno tifuna market ikule ino ba market ni bantu market ngale empty iyayi
Okay, to fade out the lady, to take this call. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, this is Mpau calling you from Sibuyunji.
Yes, Mr. Mpau from Sibuyunji.
Oh yes, first and foremost, we are glad to have you back, Ambassador, once again.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, sir, once again. My comment on this issue is that I think when it comes to these issues like these, in as much as decisions should be made, I think ultimatums should be set for the people to be ready and the proper directions be given to the people. I know this is not a problem that has started now, but it has been there for some time. However, I feel that this issue is a problem to do with economical issues, and a lot of people again were even funded by the same government that has gotten rid of them from the place where they have been trading. So I find the government's decision to be okay, but next time such issues must be communicated to as early as possible, know where to find the trading spaces. And at the same time, as a nation, I think it is high time we did away with allowing lawlessness. We should not be, allowing lawlessness to a point whereby it reaches to a point where we feel it is okay. All these issues are issues the government should be able to address very well. I know it is doing what it is, but it can. But this, if it is the government has made a decision, we shouldn't see a situation whereby during elections or near to elections, again people start doing the same again. Because it means the government is decided, and at the same time it will be messing with people's lives. Otherwise, it is unfair at the same time, but the decision has been made. We hope for the best, for the betterment of the Zambians who have actually been chased. Thank you, Ambassador, for the time.
Oh, thank you very much, my brother, Mr. Mpau from Sibuyunji. And I think that's a common thread that has emerged, that our vendors, our traders, our marketeers that are trading on the CBD, on the streets, required adequate notice. And this was clearly not given to them. They were ambushed. They came on Tuesday into town and they found the places barricaded, their market, their stands burnt or destroyed. Their makeshift stands were removed, and that is their complaint, that why didn't you give us notice? I think no one is objecting to the issue that people should go back to trading spaces. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Nebo Cabo Angel Determina within Lusaka Obama.
Mkwai, you know, Alande Poyama.
Yawe, Iricha Buranda Sana. Because if we watch the battle of Nyavan without notice, the show anything. Muntu onse olandira kwechalo umuntu ororekesha pabalanda because it's painful for abantu babakwebati namarolesha basanga mu street nibali abantu bamo abafosana nabantu kuchena bobeni abali mu government abakwete ndalama muyemfa bamapa abo balesunga abana banshiwa abakwebati bali fuyo mimishumo babaletera lesunga ngafuna mu street yashishanga nitunshi tomato tunshi aya amusupporta kuskula lemudi ale baletelefya kula panganda and then yokwisa abafunya by no verifications and to make the matters worse yakwebati abantu especially ama businesses babachaire poma businesses tuwaleo pamate all after bayingishe ndalama mu order or Tuesday baya bafunyamu ifintu fyesi baona ora nokona ora nishibo baona wiriri abantu kwabura no sefe tukuba tontonka nshama rights yawo shabantu bari tuvote bena abara tontonka nyefi nganchi batu wakupera ne vote ba tontonke nyokweba ati tukakare ko buno na ifuebo ifintu nafika beko buno mu life
yeah.
Chibizana ito wale chitanga oro shampurungu bali sara kuri mpurungu bali sara ni kwisa ngawaro shampurungu ama vote yafumine ku mpurungu kuri yafumine shinga ama vote bayitara na mpurungu kuri abantu bari echura abantu country ile echura ile tabare sakamana wa mabungare kwera fi amwambata chiwe mekwenda nasire ni kwa abantu nimwe benese mapirazi mungalanda ko fya abantu wa tristi apopo tufikia nomba 7 apopo twafika nomba twaishi bataba rusengo fubala ndile now I regret because the time nale bombela pakabwe ofofya dika nishana dika tachishinka ati mwashtabona kumuvotera bati mukebukisha because tabata uruserwe na ifeta twakwata and for real this is true kwa ifuna chafa finandeko.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kabwe raises fundamental issues: the state of the economy, the price of goods and services, the price of meal that is selling as high as 280 kwacha in far-flung areas. And he says those traders mostly look after widows, orphans, and they are usually women in general, and they support families. So probably a notice would have been adequate. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, Mr. Mwamba, Ngosa calling you in Lusaka.
Yes, Mr. Ngosa.
Yes, otherwise the move of removing the street vendors, it was good, but the mistake was they did not give them notice. As people are saying, most of them, they have lost a lot of goods. Bali akuma order, order pamande. Maybe bali abatene ya sefin. So now they are notice. So another thing, I think what you are doing all right, because mostly I'm a politician. No more I'm a problem. Because I remember in 2018, I'm a student like staying in Lapaya. But the opposition was like, no. But you must be very careful. But they know that the problem it will go. But they were supporting. But if you're a politician, whether you're in opposition, if you see that this is bad, I think you can make yes. And the country can move forward. Rather than that blaming. But the mistake that they made, that's why no one can notice. No wonder most of people are complaining. It was very bad.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Yeah, that point is very clear. Lack of notice has cost implications for our vendors, our marketeers, our traders. And like everyone says, they go to make orders on Monday. So they went and made orders, usually over the weekend and Monday, then ready to trade beginning Tuesday. And that's when the council, a combined team of the police council and RATSA moved in and closed them out. Clearly, Lusaka is a set of confusion. It requires to be brought to normality, but we needed to balance all these interests. Where minibus drivers park anywhere, they create unnecessary congestions. People that sell motor vehicles have taken permanent spaces in the area. The traders also took permanent spaces in corridors. If we have to bring order, I think we needed to engage everyone, the motor vehicle sellers, the minibus drivers who park everywhere, because where the minibus is where people are coming to join in, and that's an area that will congregate our people. If you saw the entire Freedom Way, from Kulima Tower right up to end of North End there, it literally was a bus stop. And the traders also congregate around where the bus stop is. So you needed to bring everyone together and then make these decisions. Again, the council in these trading spaces need to provide security for motor vehicles, because there's no way I'll leave my vehicle, go into Soweto Market or City Market and find that Nabeva Radio, the Minaba, people don't want to do that. That's why people are willing and only comfortable to buy from their sitters, motorists. So we need to create parking spaces for our people to park so that they can go into markets. We need to punish motorists and pedestrians that want to buy before we punish the vendors that want to buy on the roadside. Because we don't want to take responsibility but blame the vendor for being there. The vendor is following you because you don't want to go to the market. So we need to balance all this. The long-term issue is let's build manufacturing sectors, let's build industries, let's provide credible, informal, durable employment, decent employment as we call it. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Elvis calling you from Livingston.
Yes, Mr. Elvis, from Livingston.
In the first place, I applaud the ministry for trying to keep Lusaka clean. And there are those of us that are saying there was no prior notice. If you remember, there was a time when there was a ministerial directive and the president had to stop it.
In January, yes, in January, January 13th.
And when I visited your Facebook page, you're actually one of the people who condemned the way Lusaka was looking at that time, some time back. You condemned it so much. The biggest challenge that is there is there are people that have been trading in the market, and the markets are designated areas for trading. It is so unkind and so unfortunate that we still want to commend people to still continue trading on the roads where people are supposed to pass, in exception of not allowing them to go to the market. How fair are we to a person who follows the law of the country, which stipulates that we should go into a trading area, then we want others to move out? So the best we can do now, as all of us as meaningful Zambians, is to call people to go to the market, as compared to trying to politicize this whole thing. Here in Livingston, I can tell you, they moved in. How fair is it that in Livingston they removed street vendors, and then in Lusaka people should be left to be on the street? It wouldn't be unfair, because unless there's a Zambia that is for two people, for people, yes, there are those that are advantaged because they live in Lusaka, and those that are disadvantaged because they live in Shangombo. But I believe as a country, you've been in government, as a government, I sympathize with Michael Sata, because may he so rest in peace, because he had tried to do this, but he ended up being frustrated. I don't know, maybe he was frustrated by the people like you who were working with him, he just had to give up. I still remember that time. But street vending is not a good cause, Mwamba. Maybe you as political leaders, you need to educate us as the citizenry as compared to politicizing this whole thing. Educate us on what we are supposed to do. We do the right thing. The issue of there was no prior notice does not apply because people have been told time and again to go into the trading areas. And a trading area is the best place where a person who is trading is supposed to be. Lusaka hasn't been good. You could barely pass when you are going, maybe anywhere you are going, because there was merchandise all over. So let's try to help one another, because tomorrow it's UPND in government. Today it's UPND in government. Tomorrow it will be somebody else. Are you going to accept and to condemn and to condone this behavior because you feel what and what? No, let's do the right thing. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you very much. Elvis from Livingstone. Elvis is saying we should allow people to go back to designated trading spaces, and he thinks that there's been adequate repeated information on people to go back to designated places, a matter that we've been discussing. I remember one notice that was given in January, 7 months ago. There hasn't been a fresh notice for the removal of vendors. So we will begin to wind up to take the last calls as we discuss this matter. The CBD must be clean. Lusaka should be the face of our country. But I think, like everyone is saying, planning should be done. Alternative trading spaces should be built. The PF tried. They built a brand new market on Lumumba Road called Simon Mwewa Lane. You've seen it has taken up that huge space that was available just next to Lumumba Road. I think the market should be coming to completion. But the issue is that, again, the markets are empty, the streets and roadsides are full. So you need to create that balance. Be strict, let everyone go into the markets. And for me, I'll not stop on issues of pedestrian and motorists who do not want to park their car and go and buy in the market. We are the one that draw sellers and buyers from their markets. The sellers then come to the street for us to lower our window and buy. We also contribute to the menace in town. Elvis is also blaming us that we like to politicize. Well, the best example is President Hakainde Hichilema. He politicized everything. He condemned the decision on KCM. He said KCM Vedanta should have been chased a long time ago. He did that. But now this is government that is going to enforce the return of Vedanta. On street vendors, again, when the PF government removed the street vendors, I think during the 2020 COVID crisis, the records are there. He stood with the side of the vendors. So that is why some of us are condemning populist politics, where you say something that is popular but may not be correct. We should stand by what should be done for our country, what should be correct. The issue of street vending is a correct decision. Of removing street vendors is a correct decision. But we are saying, why didn't you give them notice? Why didn't you give them adequate time? Why didn't you do an audit with trading spaces so that they go from the street and the roadside into a shop or market stand? Good evening, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Mike, calling me from Winilunga district of St. Province.
Yes, sir. Mike from Winilunga.
Yes.
Make your contribution, sir.
Yes, actually, I'm in support with the point that I've raised on where vendors are being actually got close because of us who happens to be because what is happening in the situation whereby we find that the majority of the vendors are in the north because of us. We bring them on our own. because we don't want to go to the trading center, trading market. So that is the reason why vendors also start going near, they're coming near to us. At the end of the day, they find that all of the loads are being occupied by the vendors, in the sense that many people, we are failing to have a parking space. At the end, we are causing even the thief, when we say theft, to be within us, because we want it. But coming to the other side of the move of the vendors from the streets, that is a good move, but it has also, as I said, everything has got pros and cons. It has also disadvantaged some vendors in such a way that it was an emergency. Imagine you are going for work, then you find that as you try to enter your office, it is locked, you have been fired. How will you feel? Of which your family is waiting for the blade, for you to put the blade on the table. So I think that government must look into that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take the last 2 phone calls, then we'll play the videos and end the program. I think this has been a very, very fruitful discussion. Mike from Winilunga is saying, again, I'm liking what he says, is echoing my concerns that we pedestrians and motorists, we like to draw the vendors and sellers to our spaces. If I'm walking to a bus stop, I want to buy alongside where I'm going to the bus stop. If I'm in the car, I want to buy from the comfort of my cars. So again, this is our contribution. We have made street vending attractive to our people. The people in market, the market stands are empty because we know everyone is outside. The owners of the establishment where the corridors have been taken, they pay taxes, they pay registration certificates, they also feel disadvantaged. In some cases, they've also offloaded the things they sell inside and they hire traders and vendors outside to sell for them. So we normalized a very informal and illegal arrangement. Everyone participated, you, me, authorities, everyone participated in this lawlessness. So if we have to end the lawlessness, let us be clear that we are ending this lawlessness, and let it be fair across board. Allow the markets to be full, allow the vendors to go into those trading spaces, audit who owns which stand, so that our people are not subletting or subleasing from whoever owns those stands. I'll be ending the program. We'll play the videos that we played at the beginning, and then we'll end the program. So God bless you. God bless our country. This country is a very wealthy country. It's a rich nation. There's no justification for this country to be poor. It's a leadership issue. We don't manage our resources where we allow foreigners to benefit from our resources. Oh, there's a caller. He's lucky. He might be our last caller. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, this is Emmanuel on the line calling.
From where are you, Mashina?
I'm calling you from Lusaka, within Lusaka.
Thank you. Make your contribution, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my contribution on the same, like the vendors issue, I feel government has taken a right step, for the reason being that in the street where the vendors were, it's quite dangerous, and vehicles move there. They can develop a malfunction at any given point and would lose life. In so many lives would be lost, and we've lost lives before. So if people can still follow ShopRite where it is waiting, in the where they've stationed or where they've built these malls, if people can still follow, what can stop people following traders or vendors in the market? It's one and the same thing. So the best is people should go to market and trade, buy from there. It's simple as that.
Okay.
I think that's my contribution for now.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I was just winding up the program. There's something that I should have stated earlier at the beginning. Our dear mother, Honorable Jean Kapata, the former Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, lost her husband, Mr. Eju. He was battling cancer. He's been admitted to the University Teaching Hospital, I think for the last 1 month or so. And we lost him this afternoon, so may his soul rest in eternal peace, and we pray for God's strength to Honorable Jean Kapata and the bereaved families. To you, the traders, vendors, marketeers that were highly inconvenienced on Tuesday, I think let us come together that we understand your concerns, and to the authorities, make those trading spaces available. Let not just be statistics. You are saying you have 13,000, you have 23,000 trading spaces and stands. Make it available for our people. To you, the motorist and pedestrian, be responsible. As soon as you buy that banana from your comfort of your car, you are promoting street vending. You are drawing the vendors and the marketeers and the traders away from designated places. We need to develop a culture where we go to the market, to the council and related authorities, secure the city. The city is not secure. Pickpocketers, people that are breaking into our cars. Where is the police? Where is the police? There's just so much lawlessness. For the council, be innovative. There are a lot of empty spaces, like Mr. John Njebe stated, that you can utilize. We have allowed huge buildings just to rot. Findeco, a multi-billion-dollar building, is just going to waste and we're not using it. And there are many buildings like that. There are a lot of spaces that can be created as parking spaces. This can be done by all of us if we cooperate. We cooperate. So may the Lord bless you, may He keep you, may the Lord make His face shine upon you, may the Lord be gracious to you, may the Lord lift you up and lift His countenance upon you and give you peace. So good night. I'll leave you with the 4 videos.
Now the manje ndama yose manimza maudu family yanga zaisunga bwanji family Afrika pasa notice na ventu vantu tima mvera atukushabe vintu veka wainga tafasha vintu veka wayo pokapa o president apemba o chairman family hapo waisa nafuna kutoa zingine sepo cha president atawa vote Afrika watika konzero na sasa understand that family wachita such a win. 10 p.m. now there, kusapela pe 25. Nanga ina nguza chokela kuti. Swatch up we know a president. Kapana president kapana misa swatch up we know. Bazilana mavuto ya abantu. Mavuto ya abantu akali kombo kazela ngani. Kutoka ipampanda pa mapacha pa nali ndise te abantu. Basipa sakole nice. We need afuna got pasa olem. They need to respect us. Toza nisema atu wakali kombo nao wakutoza hapa wakali kombo walipachimpanda mela bwimi nangaise maoda meta oda sizapeleka kuti sema ati pasa notice sema ati tima mvera sibandalizimu yeka metinga tandizira tingachitako vintu vinangu kata pasa notice pandrama za metina odera maoda. It's not good. Nasa tifuna muno market kuti tizule. Market ili empty. Mulibe bantu. Manje chi market mana chimangiranji baboma. Tisongera muno. Imwe uko na mokoro msongera but tifuna tisongerere pamozi muno. Tifuna market ikule inova market ni bantu. Market ngale empty. Iyayi. Dotim street achiramo. Nao vakanso valema ukolola doti, ukolola matuvi, valema nao vakanso, Muno market muli clean. Muno market vapyanga vakanso. Bwerani market, bwerani tisebenzere pamozi.
Thank you, Mayo. Twalumba. Thank you, Mayo. Thank you.
State and Council Police clean up Lusaka CBD. Hi everyone and welcome to Generation TV right here. If you're new, kindly remember to subscribe, like and comment. And now let's dive straight into this particular story. Street vendors conducting business in the Central Business District in Lusaka this morning woke up to a rude shock after a combined team of State and Lusaka City Council Police swung into action in the early hours of today, demolishing some makeshift stands in the cleanup exercise. The street vendors conducting business in the CBD and selected roads in the city have complained about the presence of the State and Council Police who are cleaning the CBD without any notice. The vendors have expressed displeasure at the disruption of business which has been caused by the cleanup exercise. They have further complained.
The
trading stands have been dislocated without being warned by the relevant authorities, saying they would have prepared themselves for the cleanup had they have been informed prior to the exercise. More details in this video. This is our Generation TV.
Search up, we know a president. Kapana president, kapana Mr. Search up, we know. Mazilana mavuta abantu akali kombo kazela ngani. Kutoka ipambanda pa mabaja pa nani ndi sete watu.